Outlander started off as a best-selling book series by American author Diana Gabaldon, with the first novel published back in 1991 after being inspired after watching an episode of BBC science fiction series Doctor Who. Fast forward to 2023 and Outlander has become a global TV phenomenon after Starz adapted it for the small screen back in 2014. Season 7 will be premiering this summer, while Gabaldon continues to write novels, with the saga expected to be wrapping up with a 10th and final book. Sadly, Starz also recently confirmed Outlander had been renewed for an 8th and final season. Nonetheless, there will be another series called Blood of My Blood, which serves as a prequel to Outlander and focus on another pair of star-crossed lovers. Outlander has amassed hundreds of thousands of fans from across the globe, thanks to both the TV show and book series, who have fallen in love with Jamie, played by Sam Heughan, and Claire Fraser's Katrina Balfe adventures. The story has taken readers and viewers from 18th-century Scotland to modern-day America, with a pit stop in the Caribbean. However, it's not just the storyline which has won people. The strength of the characters, the culture and history have also been a hit. Here are 4 fans who've shared their love of Outlander and how it's impacted their lives. Why was Season 6 of Outlander so short? Outlander Season 6 wrapped in June, but some fans of the Starz series are curious to know why the current outing was so short. Express.co.uk has the lowdown. Hailey Beaupre, 24, originally from Connecticut, moved to Scotland due to her love of Outlander after binging the show following a recommendation. After becoming an Outlander diehard, Hailey moved to Scotland to study the country's history in January 2020, but the coronavirus pandemic forced her to return to America, leaving her feeling like she'd had her dream ripped away. As the pandemic hit and lockdown started, she was quarantining in her parents' camper van in their back garden when further tragedy struck after one of Hailey's best friends was killed in an accident. In the space of 7 days, all of that happened. "I cannot describe how devastating all of that was," she said, saying she was in a dark, depressed state, with her passion for Scotland and love of Outlander serving as her only rays of hopes at the time, as it made her feel safe and comfortable. Hailey knew she had to get back to Scotland and started applying to universities, eventually returning in September to do a master's at the University of Aberdeenshire, completing most of her course online due to COVID. She currently lives in Scotland and is training to be a tour guide, serving as an apprentice to Andy the Highlander. Moreover, her passion for Outlander continues, and last year she attended the Season 6 premiere in London and the Scottish BAFTA Awards, where she met most of the show's cast. Hailey said, "I got to meet Katrina Balfe for the first, and I actually credit her to literally saving my life. If I didn't have her as a role model, as an idol, as someone to look up to, Katrina Balfe and Claire Fraser, I don't think I would be sitting here talking to you right now." The moment was emotional for both of them, with the Irish actress embracing Hailey. Reflecting on why Outlander resonated with her, Hailey said, "I think it's similar to everyone. I think I took it to the extreme, but there's something this story, this series, these books that just, I don't want to say the word magical because it seems too small, but there's something within this story that makes you feel welcome, it makes you feel passionate, inspired, comfortable. It's not just a love story, it's not just the beauty of Scotland, it's not the history, it's not the action, it's everything together. It just has this way of inspiring you to want to achieve great things." What Diana Gabaldon has created is going to be around forever. The superfan has also found love with a Scot, whom she says is her Jamie, with the couple watching the show together. Hayley has just one more thing to tick off her bucket list. She's hoping to appear in the show as a supporting cast member. However, she said she was already living her dream by residing and working in Scotland, immersed deep in the nation's rich history. Following the news of Outlander ending, Hayley said, "It's really just hard to imagine not only having to say goodbye, but having to accept that there won't be any more. For 5 years this story has been deeply ingrained into every aspect of my life. It has quite literally made me who I am." Adding, "I know I will continue to forge new paths in the future, which is so exciting, but will be no erasing the widely known Outlander effect. This phenomenon and what it has created will be around forever." Lynn Cayley is a 59-year-old environmental specialist for the state of Florida and lives in South Florida. She first encountered Outlander through Gabaldon's novels when the first one came out. However, she said she was initially turned off by the time travel element. Lynn became a recent Outlander fan and came to the show from Ewan and Graham McTavish's travelogue Men in Kilts on Stars. She said, "I didn't know who the actors were at the time, but I was interested because that show highlighted so many things about Scotland. I have some Scottish ancestry, and we visited Scotland in May." Men in Kilts also featured many scenes from Outlander, and so she decided to give it a try and got hooked pretty quickly, binging all seasons in a matter of months, enjoying the history, landscapes, actors and stories. "I think it resonates with me because I love historical fiction and am very interested in Scotland after visiting the country. My Scottish ancestor had a Native American, Cherokee, wife, so the episodes that highlighted the Scottish immigrant interaction with the North Carolina Cherokee was particularly interesting." Lynn went on to say, "I think it's a stretch to say that it changed my life in any way. It's made my interest in Scotland grow, and I was contemplating studying a new language, so I decided to study Gaelic. I've studied Spanish, French and Japanese, not fluent in any of those by the way. I probably should have brushed up on any one of those instead of taking on something new, but here we are. It's not an easy language." Peter Walker, 42, is a hotelier from Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and said he had always been aware of the show and was encouraged by his sister-in-law to give Outlander a watch. He admitted, "Once I started I couldn't put my iPad down and became obsessed, trying to watch episodes when he got the chance." For keen historian Peter, it was the depiction of Scottish history and the 1745 Jacobite Rising. He said, "I think it is as close a portrayal of the real thing that I have watched on TV/online. I'm sure there are parts dramatized for viewers, but I think it's so relatable, especially the first seasons based in Scotland." Moreover, he praised the characters for being believable. On how Outlander changed his life, Peter said, "It made me research more about the hotel I run, as we have a long Jacobite history connection with the family that lived here at the time. This then made me come up with commercial opportunities that could be Outlander themed, as I could tie them to the history of the house/hotel. I think it also rejuvenated a love for Scottish history and finding out more about the country and area that I live." Linda Kidwell, 59, a university accounting professor from Florida, was fairly late to the Outlander game, coming to the show in September last year after searching for a new box set. After watching episode 1, Linda and her husband were hooked by the second installment, and the couple have now watched the first 5 seasons and are keen to catch up with the 6th run before the forthcoming 7th cycle lands this year. She also went on to read the first 3 novels, the Lord John books, and said she couldn't get enough. Linda said, "I find the books gripping, and I find myself reading and rereading certain sections. I can't remember the last time a book has hit me this way, since my years immediately after university, when I read the entire works of John Steinbeck in 1 year, as well as several of Dickens' works I didn't have to read in school. The closest I suppose would be reading Harry Potter to my children." Linda said Outlander got her interested in her ancestry as she started researching her Scottish roots, admitting only to learn "I am more Scottish than I realised." She said, "I'm proud of being from old colonial stock, with ancestors on both sides being here from at least the 18th century, though some in the 17th. Linda continued, "I knew I was a Buchanan my whole life, but Outlander has made me look more deeply into my Scottish roots. I had always thought of myself as mostly English, but I was wrong. I have recently connected with Clan Buchanan on Facebook, just after they named their first chief in 300 years. Moreover, Linda not only went to high school in North Carolina in the Piedmont region near Hillsborough and Alamance County, and said she was looking forward to seeing more about the American Revolutionary War. She said, "I also really enjoy the history I'm learning by reading. I remember learning about the Jacobites in high school, but I don't know that I ever knew anything about the devastating result of the Rising on the Highlanders. I want to learn so much more about this, and more surprising to me is that I never learned about the Regulators." She also discovered one of her ancestors was a Presbyterian minister, with Linda continuing to research her fascinating family history. Linda said her other reason for loving Outlander was "My brother, who was just 13 months younger than me, died on Christmas Eve in the 80s, when we were in our 20s. His name? Jamie. I've never known another man named Jamie since, and I'm hoping Outlander fans start giving that name to their children." Outlander Season 7 will premiere in summer 2023, and Seasons 1 to 6 are streaming on Lionsgate Plus now.